Welcome to another episode of Trucker Talk. My brother George, man, how you doing this afternoon, my brother?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Blessed to be here.
Yes, sir.
It's a privilege, as we learned in church today.
Hey, speaking about that, man, that message today, I tell you, man, Austin Coleman, man, and he was talking about, and I'm gonna make sure I pronounce this right, humility. I used to say, is it humility? Humility. I try to get it messed up. So humility, man, when he touched on that, and a lot of people they don't talk about that, they don't discuss it. But I'm gonna go back to what hit me when he was talking about that, and I'm gonna talk brief. I don't want to drag this out, but I'm gonna talk about last weekend. Me and my son, we went car shopping. So, and I want to say, as far as a young man, like as far as selfless, my son, I guess as you watch, you want to teach your kids and you want to train them the best way you can. Teach them and train them and watch them grow up, to be the best young adult that they can be. But he's very selfless. And Austin was talking about, when he was talking about being selfless, people need to be more selfless. I thought about the process when we was going through the car buying, and even after walking through the ups and downs, and the guy at the dealership called me a bully. he said, man, he looked at Malachi. He said, "You come here to bully me, didn't you?" He said, "You're a bully." I said, "Look," I said, "Do you have a son?" I said, "How old are you?" He's like, "I'm 30." I said, "Do you have a son? Any kids?" He's like, "No." I said, "Till you become a parent," I said, "you don't understand." I said, "I'm out here looking out for his best interest." And I said, "I'm not gonna let y'all screw him."
Protective. That's what you want. And you also teach him at the same time. You're teaching him a valuable lesson as well, because that'll domino down to when he comes out to when he gets older, gets his own children. Process of buying things. He had that same protective instinct. It's like I'm not gonna let you just get put down
Right.
on a sale.
Right. And so it was pretty good. But when I thinking about going back to that, so what I didn't tell him going into it, I was gonna. So I waited till after we went through the process and everything, and so I told him, I said, I'm gonna help you pay the interest on your car insurance, or I said car insurance on your car loan, because I said you're not gonna pay that interest. So he was not expecting that, but he messaged me and he's like, "Thank you, man. I'm grateful." A lot of people don't have dads that do those things for them. So looking, I mean, like I said, he's only 22, but to be at that maturity level,
Yes.
like I'm just like, he is selfless. He didn't say, "Hey, Dad, I need you to co-sign." He didn't say, "Hey, Dad, I need." He didn't say nothing. He didn't ask me for nothing. He just needed me to be there.
Right. That's good.
So I was just like, man. But I mean, he's very appreciative though.
That's good. And that's awesome because that's a rare trait now, especially younger kids, man, because everybody wants something for themselves.
Well, what Austin say is me, 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 me. Me, me, me. What about and that's what the world has become to, man. Like everybody. I mean, the world is selfish. There's a lot of selfish people in this
Oh
world.
yes, absolutely.
But yeah, we're gonna so you was on vacation last week.
Yep.
You had a you had a beautiful week of peace, right? Or
It rained a couple of days, but it didn't matter because I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Okay, nice, yeah. And the trucker world, I had a beautiful week, man. Riding with different guys, and I tell you a funny one, man. Me and my buddy Brian, we was on the Kentucky East route, and you can make all the plans in the world. You can plan, you can prepare. Like, man, I took notes. I got my addresses and my GPS. So, man, we riding. I can tell this story. It's a real story, man, but it's a lesson learned. And he won't be mad for me telling this, but man, we ran the route. I'll just say perfect. It was. So I used my GPS. I had the address for Cherry Street in my GPS. So I'm gonna say accidentally. So accidentally, man, I dozed off. It's been a long night. So when I wake up, I look at him and he's got this look at his face. He's like, this is not the way we he said, this is not the way we came. And I was like, so I'm sitting there in a day. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, bro, I've been driving for 3 hours. He said, how long did you say it take to get back? I said about 3 hours. He said, well, it's gonna take us 4 hours to get back today. I was like, what? So, but like I said, I accidentally, and so I reached out to the guy that normally runs the route, and he gave me some detailed instructions. So I told Brian, I said, look, I said, I'm gonna write these down. I said, tomorrow, I said, this ain't, we both, I said, this ain't gonna happen tomorrow. So the next day, everything went smooth. I was awake, he was, we was there, and we watched the directions. I was reading them to him. Boom, it worked out pretty good.
Good. Sometimes plans don't go as planned.
Well, you can plan for the best, but sometimes it like you said, it don't work out. So recap from last week, man. A wedding is a celebration, but marriage is a covenant. Couples often focus on the details of the event and forget the daily commitment follows, man. True preparation means building communication, trust, respect, and understanding. Marriage requires patience, forgiveness, teamwork, and growth, not just flowers, venues, and photos. When the excitement of the wedding fades, the strength of the marriage is what sustains the relationship. What's your
That is so true.
what's your take on it, man?
But I look at this thing. I try to look at it on both sides of it. I think for most, and I say majority of women, could be men as well. Like the most beautiful day that a woman could ever have. That marriage. But again, like we talked about, if it's not prepared for the wedding, like I say, once the marriage is subsiding, wedding is done. Now it's time to do the marriage thing. If you're not prepared for that in some kind of aspect, it starts to fall apart. And it's hard to pick it up sometimes. It really.
Right. And I guess everybody's different.
Yeah.
And I just, all I'm gonna say is I see a lot of different situations, man. And I'm at an age and point in my life where, like I said, I keep saying I got to be careful. I got to be careful with who I meet, and because at this day and age, well, not speaking for everybody, but some of us, you have more to lose than you have more to lose than gain. Can I say that?
Well, you can, because it's your own opinion as well.
Yes, you got more, because you make that, you marry the wrong person, you get connected with the wrong person. Shoot, it's gonna be bad. So
it could be a mental thing as well. It ain't just financially. It could be just the mental process of dealing with all that hurts, and it stays with you a lot longer too.
Mental health, yeah. It's you got trauma. It goes back to that. So, and I'm saying this. It's not that love is hard. It's that you keep watering dead plants. I think I sent that to you last week, man.
Yeah, I got it.
And in other words, the problem isn't love. It's holding on to something that's already gone. And there again, like I said, I see situations where, which I'm looking from the outside in, people they're just existing. With me, I'm trying to get I guess I'm on the outside looking in, so I really can't understand situations. So we'll go into understanding dead plants in relationships. So signs you're watering a dead plant: your constant effort with no growth, one-sided love and energy. Say it again: one-sided love and energy. That's tough, man, because we'll come back to that. That's tough. So emotional exhaustion without fulfillment. I'm trying to think if I don't think I've ever experienced that, but why people keep watering dead plants, fear of being alone, attachment to history and memories. I think that can be a tough one, because it's like you're holding on to that. So hoping people will change. Love isn't hard. I don't know. But hoping people change. So I think with that, that can kind of keep you in a relationship.
And to piggyback on that, it's hoping you can fix somebody.
But why do people? And I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna say this. I
It's
think
pretty deep.
I learned younger when I, trying, like, when when we talk about this, you got the checklist, and I experienced this one time. You got your checklist, and you checking everything off. But I think at the end of the day, I mean, well, I know you can't fix them, but people are who they are, and if you love somebody and care about somebody, some things I mean, you accept them, you can accept them for who they are. But the way I look at me in this day and time, it's like when I'm meeting people and stuff like that, people got their own traumas and their own their triggers and all those things. So I can't meet somebody and be like, okay, I expect you to do X, Y, and Z, because it don't work that way.
Right.
I think more people nowadays, they go off that checklist. Like I said, I've experienced that, but I'm at a point in my life where I can check the boxes off, but I have to be open to other things.
And just piggyback on what we're talking about, like I say, there's nothing wrong with a beautiful wedding. Some weddings are just beautiful,
Yes.
but we put so much emphasis in that. Not everybody, don't get me wrong. Just when those weddings or those marriages go south, and you kind of look back, it's like the photos were just beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
Photos are just beautiful. Everybody was happy, and it's like, okay, but was the marriage prepared for as well as the wedding was prepared for?
Some cases, yes. In other cases, no,
Yeah.
because people just they they put the emphasis on that. And I don't wish no ill will on anybody, but I wish, anybody, and if I get to that one of these days, I want to meet somebody and grow with them, and I would be open to going. I don't know if because I ain't married. I don't know if they do like a premarital thing. Like, I would take some classes or whatever I need to do. That way, you're educating yourself, and you are, because I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to tell you, okay, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to financial, and all that stuff. It plays a factor, but people don't think about that. They just think, I just want to lay next to my significant other.
And that's the thing about it. It is true. I mean, we look at these things, and sometimes we don't. We all probably get to something to one degree or another. But in that respect, they do have, like, I think a lot of churches do marriage
Oh.
counseling. They also probably marriage counselors,
Yes.
so to speak. So I mean, I think the information you can get, you can utilize it and use it. It's just like when we take our safety test every month.
Right.
It's stuff that I know, but sometimes it reminds me of stuff that I'm not doing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Okay. Love isn't hard, but growth is. So, from the definition from my research, I said these are what I looked up. So, real love should feel reciprocal and life giving. Growth requires effort, communication, and compromise, but not suffering. Differentiate between healthy challenges and toxic cycles. How to stop watering. How to start watering dead plants. But what do you think about that, man? The whole the toxic cycles, man. Like, I've seen. Well, I know a lot of people that's in toxic cycles.
That is one of those tough conversations that people have, and it's like, I think toxicity is there, but if you keep letting it build, letting it build, letting it build, then there's no resolution to that.
Right.
Going back to watering something it's not even going to grow anymore. Probably not to say that you just at the first sign of trouble you run away. You figure out what's causing these issues, then you kind of rectify it with your significant other. Can we come to an agreement to fix this, or what can we do to make this better than what?
Yeah, but I mean, when you get to that, we just, like I said, we're just having a conversation. So after canceling all that, it's like, what do you do?
Ooh,
Like,
that's a tough one.
when do you pull the plug?
When's enough's enough? Yeah, I don't know. That is a tough one. And I think that's an individual thing. That's an individual couple situation.
Okay.
But because, like I say, you can't continue doing the same thing and the same results keep happening.
Right.
But you keep hoping for something better to happen, but the results still are the same that are negative results. that you just prolonging what.
prolonging what's going to happen. Yeah. And I think some people, they just, I think they accept it in their mind, but it's like they still, but
Yeah.
like you said, what's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, and of course, they say we're doing it for the kids, we're doing it for this, we're doing it for mom and dad, we're doing it for your parents, my parents, whatever. That's an individual thing. That's another that's a deep cycle that you can kind of get into, and it's spiraling down because I don't think there's really an answer. I think the answer is, can you fix it? That would be the ultimate question: is can we resolve this to a positive a positive outcome?
Right.
If we can't fix it, then what do we do? That's a tough one. We can talk about this for another month for sure, and get comments on it because everybody's gonna have probably a different opinion. Well,
Different opinion.
mine was this way, but mine was that. But we fixed ours. That's awesome.
Right.
Some of them probably you can look at them and they can't be fixed. I've seen people have been together for years. It's like, how do y'all stay together? Do you live off of toxicity? Live off of you live off of this fighting back and forth. You fight 1 week, make up 1 week, fight 1 week. So you got this cycle going. So now you become
immune. I guess
not immune. It becomes norm. It's a norm.
It's a normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It becomes that behavior. It's like but you've been doing this for like years. Well, I know, but it works this way.
but that's not the answer.
No, that's not the answer.
Yeah.
No.
And I've met people. It's like I've met different individuals, and it's like I'm who I am. I do things a certain way, and I've had experiences where they would be like, why are you this nice, or why do you, and they're like, I'm not used to this, and I'm sitting here like I don't. So when I meet new people, we have open discussions and stuff like that, and we have. Not that I give them what's the word, like an interview. It's like I kind of just I feel it about, but I'm trying to understand them. That way, when I do things, I don't want it to seem like I have any hidden agendas. At the end of the day, I don't need to have. I mean, that was years when I was a child. I guess I ain't gonna say a child. When I was in my 20s, I did all kinds of. Well, I ain't gonna say stupid, but I was young. I was in the world. I was growing and learning. But now, at my age now, I'm learning. I mean, I've learned, but I'm unlearning and I'm relearning.
It's a good one.
Is what I'm doing now, because all the things that what I was used to and the things that I was doing that I'm like, yeah, this is. But now when I meet different people, and I'll sit back and I'm like, okay, let me try this. So I'm relearning, but I'm unlearning the things that I thought that's what I'm supposed to do.
And you're picking up new behaviors.
New behaviors, yes. And like I said, I made some changes. So how to stop watering dead plants? You got to accepting reality and letting go, choosing peace over constant conflict. So redirecting your energy into self-love and healthier relationships. So practical steps, man, like journaling, therapy, and boundaries.
Yep. That is almost like little answers to the question we had is when is enough enough. Those are some of the answers right there. Because once you start to look at, you seeing what causes problems.
Yes.
You set because this causes this. If you strike a match, you're gonna start a fire. So
Correct.
we need not strike matches in near flammable objects.
Right.
So in this that is just an example, but like you say, those are some of the ways you can decrease that conflict that you have.
Right. And surrounding yourself with supportive people, because a lot of people, they don't have a lot of supportive people in their circle, man. And you always, and if I offend somebody, you got that one female that's got that one friend. They in their ear. They like, they ain't married.
And
they ain't got nobody.
And that's sad, but it's true. It really
it's like,
is.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are you listening to your friend? Like, she ain't got nobody. She miserable.
And that's why she's single. But then on the other side, she said, well, I want to be single.
No, I, like me. Don't get me wrong. When I was single, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm single by choice." Blah blah blah. But I mean that it was a choice, because at the end of the day, like I tell you, I enjoy companionship. I enjoy spending time. So I enjoy all those things. But you know, with the right person, those things are good. But I'm not out here like I got a big billboard up and say, hey, I need you to come to my house every day. I need you to come hang out. I don't do that because I don't crave all that. Like, but with the right person, yes, it's nice.
And just kind of piggyback on this, in the respect to women, men are the same way as well. We got men that
Yes.
are, oh God,
Well,
they sit around in these call out the man cave, which I do not have. And it's like, why are you feeding him all this when you yourself are the worst example of what you're doing, you know? So don't get offended, women. I'm not talking about you in general. We kind of piggybacking off of this kind of general conversation. So, but like the men, we are just as guilty as those things as well.
I agree. So I'm glad you let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and correct that. So thank you, man. But yeah, wisdom is the ability to see things. This is quote. Wisdom is the ability to see things as they truly are, not as you wish them to be. A discerning heart sees beyond words and watches actions. So I like that though.
Yes.
But the takeaway, man, love isn't hard. Love and let me say it, I kind of love isn't hard, but loving the wrong person or holding on too long makes it hard. I think, and so before I start, freeing yourself from dead plants creates space for relationships that grow. So don't confuse loyalty with self-neglect. So what do you think about that, George?
I love that one. That's good. And when you see a lot, and you know, a lot of relationships sometimes come from those kind of relationships like this. Like keep watering something, or just like a pruner. If you prune things a certain way, it decreases the chance of something that's going to grow.
Pruning is
when you take, and I'm not a horticulturist or the green thumb, but in certain ways you prune a plant or a tree to make it grow successfully. You can cut too far out, and what you cut back is going to die. But if you cut it close enough, it heals itself and starts new growth.
Oh,
yes, So that's one of the things when you cut
knowledge,
down,
man.
Yeah, I know. Experience. But yeah, you've been pruning, and a person that does roses, and they can tell you exactly. You can prune a rose bush, and it'll start new growth. But if you prune it the wrong way and at the wrong time, it decreases the quality growth of that plant. So you start a new life by pruning just right, and then you can also kill life by pruning wrong. Yes.
Hey, you need a book. You need I'm gonna write some of this stuff down, because I don't like. I tell you what I'm learning being a homeowner. Like, you know, just like with Harold's sister, man, Jean, she would tell me, you know, like she's 80, 86, 87. She always say she'll remind me when to fertilize,
yes,
when to do this and do that, and when not to fertilize. So I'm started Googling and stuff, and I'm thinking like, which she's older, and her husband, they've always
experience.
But I mess around like I'll be sitting around bored. I'm like, I look at my yard and I'm like, I'm gonna just go buy some, and it'll be the wrong time. Like I said, it'll be the wrong time of year, but because I'm antsy and I'm trying to find something to do, I'm out here fertilizing. They're like, what you fertilizing in July? It's like
instant gratification.
It's gonna burn up, you know.
I want it now.
Yeah, but it's a me issue at the end of the day. It's a me issue.
Yep.
Because it don't never work out like that. And I'm learning to just listen, and when I listen to people start talking about, I mean, I can write it down and keep up with it, but I'll listen to people like, oh, my fertilizer. I'm like, okay, then I'll get over it before I start getting these urges and stuff, man. But that's
awesome.
But we, as always, we appreciate the listeners. You got anything else?
No, I don't. Just appreciate everybody that listens. I really do. We really appreciate and value your listening as well. We value your time.
Yes. Appreciate that, man. But but as always, George, I appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see y'all next week, man. Y'all be careful. It's the Drip from